Hello guys, this is Dice. So I've created for you this video for the request of the many, but let me hope it will help you. If it is not helping you, please you can come back to me. I'll also be there ready waiting for your questions. I think if you have not got it here, I have a YouTube channel. You can try to visit my YouTube channel. It is Dice. You just check for the name as always. So today we are going to create a system, and this system will be able to get the product of the product quantity or item quantity and the item price. So I'm trying to change right now my labels text so that I change it to the appropriate one. This is price. Also, I think somebody there is guessing already. So this one will be quantity, label known as quantity. Here we go. So it's running. It's running to our program. So let us try to make our design good. So here we go. So as always, remember, we always use our buttons to do anything like calculations or to do any function or to use any function in our program. So we shall make sure, for me I've not changed the names of my text box. This will be text box 1 and this will be text box 2 and this will be text box 3. So I have not changed my names, the names of my text box. This will be label 4 and this will be button 1, this will be button 2, as you can see this side here. So for me, I think this is more understandable, so somebody will just understand that item will be text box 1, price will be text box 2, quantity will be text box 3. So now we are trying to code around, and remember, whenever I want to handle a click event for any button, like today we have a button known as calculate, which has a name known as button 1. We have to double click. That's double click. So once you double click on that button, it creates for you what we call a function, and this function will be called private void click. So this function is where we are going to type our code. So our code we are going to type here, it will be calculating the product of price and quantity, and display it in our label here down. Guys will get it. So let's begin. So remember, we shall need a variable which is going to store our price and our quantity. Even we can just perform it directly without even using this variable, but to make it more simpler, let us first create a variable. We can just assign the value we get the product value we get from these two text box. You can just assign it to a label. It is also possible to make a one-line code, but for me I think you can just do something simple. So we are going to create a variable of integer data or value, which will hold integer value. So integer value, these are always numbers without fraction, and we shall give it a name called results. Hope you guys know the 4 rules of creating variables. And we are going to get the text or the string, because here once you enter here some information in this text box, it is always known as a string. The compiler will take it as a string. So we have to convert the text entered here to an integer. So we have 2 ways to convert, but let me use all of them so that people can take any. But let's use the convert. I think people will remember this more because it is even having the simplest convert. Then you have to say dot. This means you are telling the compiler that go and find a class known as convert in our classes and pick a method there, a method which is known as to string or to integer. In case you're converting to string, you say to string, but for us we are converting from string to integer, so you say to int, and this int will be of 32-bit. I think 16-bit will not work on our machines, and 64. You have to always use 32-bit. So you double click here. Remember, this is a method. This is a method here, and one character of methods, they always have brackets. So whenever you see this bracket, you just know that was a method before. As you can see, we have also here a method known as, which is known as button click one. It is having these brackets. Are you seeing these end brackets? This one and this. So you just know that whenever you see these brackets at the end of some text, you just know that was a method or a function. So we are going to copy, or we are going to put the multiplication operator, and we can just copy this very easily. Since we are going to need it in the future, you can just copy it and paste it there, Ctrl V, and we are going to terminate. So here we are getting some errors because we have not yet put which data are we going to convert into, which data are we planning to convert to integer. So you have to put it inside here, the bracket. So we are going to convert. Remember, our text box name was text box 2, right? So we tell the compiler that we are going to convert text box 2. So text box 2 dot text. So this statement means that you come and get the text in text box 2, convert it to integer value, multiply it with this, which will be this side, then assign it into results. And here we are going to put text box. Since our quantity is text box, it will be entered in text box 3, so that will be text box 3. But what do we want in text box 3? We want the text specifically, so we want the text of text box 3, so we convert that. So now we have already finished. This is the one known as conversion. You have converted now, as you hear, convert to string. So we go on the next line. Now in the next line we are going to do what we call the assignment. we are going to assignment whatever product we have got from